Hey fragrance friends, fanatics, enthusiasts, and everybody else out there, how y'all doing today? Hey, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming to check me out, this fragrance channel. And today I wanted to showcase Ovation for Men. Now this is a new brand, a whole new house, and I'm excited to showcase them. Of course, they did send this my way for review. They did want their name out there, and I'm happy to help do that. So take this review with a grain of salt. Don't watch it if you don't want to. But this one is a pretty good fragrance. Let's talk about it. First off, this is mostly, what I smell of this fragrance is a very clean white amber kind of to this fragrance. It's kind of a transparent fragrance that almost reminds me a little bit in the same family of Platinum Egoiste. It's not the same fragrance at all, but it kind of has a similar feel. Now there's amber and leather and vanilla. The leather is also very clean and just gives a little bit of a body. It's not a particularly new car kind of smell. It's not a leather that comes off particularly dark, or it's not really a big player in the fragrance. It's really more of like a clean, light, almost suede-like leather in the background, giving the fragrance a little bit more body and just a little bit more of a universal kind of depth to the fragrance. I really like that. There's some bergamot off the top and supposedly some tobacco on the top, but I really don't notice a lot of bergamot freshness. It is blended in here, adding to a more cheerful, bright kind of quality to the fragrance, but you don't really get like a citrus punch from the top that you would expect more with a citrus-dominated fragrance. The tobacco here really isn't noticeable. It doesn't have any of the sharpness or the aggressiveness of tobacco in particular, but I do have to say that this fragrance does have almost a little bit of a patchouli note. I don't know if it's a hidden note. I don't know if they decide to keep that note hidden or secret, but maybe it's the tobacco adding almost an old school patchouli type of vibe. This fragrance almost reminds me of my Baldus Serini Cologne Concentrate or my Davidoff Silver Shadow with that 90s almost-esque, patchouli vibe. But it's just a little bit, it's very in the background, but if you know that signature type of smell, if you're, maybe a little bit more of an older gentleman like me or a 90s kid, you might know what that smell is like. But overall, very classy, very upscale, very well done fragrance. I have something negative to say at the end of the video regarding the price, but this is a good juice, no doubt about it. On my skin, this is a good performer. This fragrance does smell a little, I don't know if I would say it's overtly natural, but it does smell more natural. And I do feel that leads to maybe not the strongest projection for how this fragrance sounds, with heavy notes that you would expect to give you great longevity, like amber and leather and vanilla and tobacco. It's really quite a lighter, fresher, classier feeling fragrance. It feels almost like an aromatic. So this fragrance on my skin only gave me about 6 to 7 hours of performance, but for a more unique, fresh smelling type of fragrance, it's not bad performance at all. Projection was slightly above average, and sillage actually was quite good. So it's not a bad performer at all. But if you hear these notes and you're expecting some dark, kind of fall or winter weather kind of fragrance, this is more a universal fragrance for all seasons, in my opinion. It might not work the best in 100-degree temperature, and it might not stand up to the coldest of below freezing temperatures, but this is a very universal fragrance. So well done there. Compliment factor wise, this is exactly a juice that I love. Again, I love that Platinum Egoiste vibe. I love Davidoff Silver Shadow. I love this. Again, this fragrance brings me back to that classy, upscale, timeless kind of feel that I like. And again, for some reason, reminds me a little bit of patchouli. And there's no doubt that there is maybe perhaps a little bit of musk rounding out this fragrance. So it's very well done. It's very well rounded. If I didn't tell you these notes, I actually had to go and look these up. I couldn't detect a lot of notes, maybe a tiny bit of the vanilla, but it doesn't even stick out. I could tell that there was that modern, fresh, light, maybe more molecule-like leather in this fragrance, and that patchouli vibe or feeling, but I couldn't really pick out a lot of the notes. So when people smell this on you, I think that they're just going to think you smell upscale and classy and clean, and that's always a wonderful thing. So it's not the biggest compliment getter, but it does garner respect and positive attention. It's great for the office wear. This fragrance is called Ovation for Men, which is essentially an homage or a respect towards men, classy men, gentlemen, fathers, and this is what this fragrance is all about. So I think it does represent a timeless, classy, upscale kind of, you know, stand-up kind of guy, somebody that you might look up to. I do think that that captures that emotion well, but it might not be a perfect fragrance for, you know, a sensual date. It might work great for a first date. It could work great for if you ever have to give a speech, if you ever have to go to a public place where you're not trying to be overtly sensual, but you do want to stand out and be a little bit classy and clean. And maybe you're, you know, want to stand out as a little bit more mature. And again, this isn't an overtly mature scent. I think young men can wear this, but you'd probably want to be 20 plus, maybe 25 plus. You know, the younger guys who are liking Sauvage, EDT, and YSLY and those types of scents, they might feel like this is a little bit mature for their taste, but it's a great step in that direction. Perhaps if you've never owned a fragrance that smelled a little bit more upscale. I'd really, y'all know me, I like a classy scent, or if I'm not classy, I want to be seductive. So overall, well done. I don't want to hype it up. It's not the highest quality fragrance, but it certainly does a pretty good job. And for the first release out of this house from an independent perfumer, I don't know all the backstory, but he put a lot of work into this, and he came out with a well-composed fragrance. So I do want to put a word out for him. And of course, you know, if you want to represent, some people are really into supporting minority groups, and if that means something to you, you know, you can also support this guy too. So the only negative I have to say about this fragrance, perhaps, of course, maybe in the opening there could be more of a citrus punch. A lot of people like citrus. Maybe it could be a little bit richer. Y'all know I like rich scents. Overall, it's well done. It's supposed to be classy, and you're not really supposed to be able to pick out the notes. My real complaint with this fragrance is that, you know, it's $85 for 50 mils. Now, the quality here is outstanding. It's good for the money. But if you're comparing this to getting a full 100 mils, that's about $170, I believe. Yes, 170. And that's quite pricey. That's getting you into Carnar Barcelona and Serge Lutens territory. Does it stand up to the competition? That's really going to be for you to decide, but I think that it does a good job. I don't think they're ripping you off for quality at all. I'm not trying to say that. But, you know, some people, because it's an upcoming brand, that you might be suspicious. You might not think the quality is that great. You might think it, again, smells a little bit more leaning towards that 90s vibe. I think the quality is here. I think the price is justified, but it's not going to be easy for some people to swallow. It's going to be a little bit too pricey. 50 mils for $85 is definitely in that niche territory, but niche can go much more expensive, but y'all know that. Anyways, my final thoughts are, if you're a gentleman, you want something a little bit different, you like those classy aromatic scents like Egoiste, Platinum Egoiste, Chanel Allure Sport. You like that kind of DNA, and you're looking for a new brand that does something a little different. You want to support a new guy on the block. You want to support a minority. You want to, you know, try something different. This might be something for you. So I'm just going to put this out there for the gentleman. I do think it's good. For the money, y'all know I'm a big sucker for Platinum from the Armoff, their niche collection, Armoff Niche Platinum. Y'all know that I'm a big sucker for that. Davidoff Silver Shadow is an amazing, affordable alternative, and there's a number of other good scents, but this one is a good scent, and I do think it's worth checking out. Let me know if you think so. I will include the link down below if you want to check out the brand. Again, they did send this for review. Take this with a grain of salt if you'd like. I'm not trying to hype them up, but this is a scent that does work for me. Sometimes when I get fragrances for free, I end up putting them in giveaways. I end up giving them to friends and family. Sometimes I just end up selling them, but this is one I'm definitely going to keep in the collection. So I think that says something. So I'll see y'all next time, everybody. I hope that you're doing well. Be smelling great. Wear what you love. Rock what you got. And I wish y'all the very best. I'll see you next time, everybody. And have a good one. I'll see you again next time. Peace out, everybody. And bye.